Have you ever had one of those moments where life just cracks you open? Maybe it was a betrayal you never saw coming, a failure that cost you everything, a loss so deep, it felt like the world just went silent. We've all been there. Life has this way of hitting hard, when we least expect it, and when we feel the least prepared, and in those moments, it's easy to believe that we're powerless, that we're victims, that the world is unfair, and we're just its casualties. But here's the truth no one told us growing up: the pain isn't the problem. The problem is the mind that hasn't been trained to face it. You weren't born weak, you were conditioned to believe you couldn't handle adversity. From childhood, you were taught to seek comfort, to avoid discomfort, to flinch at failure, and now, every time something hurts, your mind screams, run. Escape. Shut down. But running doesn't build strength, escaping doesn't build resilience, avoiding pain doesn't make you powerful, it makes you fragile, and the world? It doesn't slow down for the fragile. We live in a world that will test you. That will strip you down. That will put you in the fire, not because it's cruel, but because that's how growth works. The Stoics knew this. Seneca said, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Pain, loss, rejection, they are not enemies, they are weights in the gym of life. Each one a test. Each one a teacher. The difference between the person who breaks and the one who rises, it's not talent. Not luck, it's mental training. You can't control the storm, but you can train your mind to stand firm in the rain. You can condition your thoughts like a warrior sharpens his sword, and that's what this journey is about. This isn't just about staying positive, it's about becoming unshakable, so that when life tries to crush you, you don't just survive, you respond with power. With clarity. With fire in your eyes. Because you've trained for this, and the mind you've built. It's not made of glass, it's forged in pressure. It's fire-tested. And it will not break. So let me ask you, are you willing to stop running from pain, and start using it? Because the world isn't waiting for you to be ready, it's already testing you, and the greatest danger is not what life throws at you, it's facing it with a fragile mind. It's time to build one that cannot be broken. Let's begin. Let's be honest, pain has a bad reputation. We've all been taught, almost from childhood, that pain is the enemy. That anything uncomfortable, difficult, or uncertain is something to avoid at all costs. We seek comfort like it's a treasure, comfort in our homes, in our routines, in our relationships, and most dangerously, in our minds. But here's the catch: the more we run from pain, the weaker we become. The human mind wasn't built to stay safe and idle. It was designed to face challenge, to adapt, to grow stronger through resistance. Yet in today's world, where convenience is king, distractions are endless, and instant gratification is the norm, we've trained ourselves to flinch at the very thing that can make us stronger: discomfort. Think about it. How often do you find yourself scrolling through your phone to avoid boredom, turning on the TV to avoid silence, or avoiding difficult conversations to avoid emotional pain? These are all signs of a mind that's been softened by avoidance. And this softening creates fragility. A mind that's never tested will break when pressure comes. Not because the challenge is too big, but because the mind isn't prepared. So here's a question for you: when was the last time you truly allowed yourself to face discomfort without running away? To sit with your fear, your sadness, your frustration, and not numb it, not blame it on someone else, but actually feel it fully? Most of us can't even sit in silence for 10 minutes without grabbing our phones. That's not just distraction, that's mental weakness born from fear of pain. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor and philosopher, said it best: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Let that sink in. Life will always throw chaos your way. You can't control that. You can't stop bad things from happening. But what you can control is how you respond. And that power, that choice, begins with your mind. Here's the truth: pain is not your enemy. Fear of pain is. The mind's programming to avoid pain, to escape suffering, is what weakens you, but pain itself. Pain is a weapon. A tool. A force of transformation. It's what forges resilience. Look at the great warriors of history. the survivors, the legends, they didn't avoid pain. They embraced it. They saw every hardship, every failure, every loss as fuel to become stronger. The Stoics knew this deeply, and modern psychology confirms it. Facing pain head-on rewires the brain, builds emotional toughness, and expands your capacity to handle future struggles. So what's the key? It's simple but not easy: stop fearing pain. Start using it. Retrain your mind to see pain not as punishment or destruction, but as a process of growth. Like a blacksmith tempers steel by repeatedly heating and cooling it, your mind hardens and strengthens each time you endure discomfort without breaking. Every time you choose to face fear instead of running, every time you stay in the discomfort instead of escaping it, you're strengthening your mental muscles, and this is what separates the strong from the weak, not their circumstances, but their mindset. Imagine if you woke up tomorrow with a mind trained like this, unyielding, calm, powerful. No storm outside could shake you. No setback could stop you. Because you've learned to see pain not as a threat but as an opportunity. Pain becomes the fire that purifies you, not the storm that destroys you, and that, my friend, is the foundation of true strength. So as we move forward, I invite you to ask yourself, what pain have you been avoiding? What discomfort have you been numbing? What fear have you been running from? Because once you face that head-on, you'll realize something amazing: pain doesn't break you. It builds you. It makes you unstoppable. Let's keep going, there's so much more to discover. Have you ever felt like you're wasting your time and energy on things beyond your control? Worrying about things you can't change, tormenting yourself over circumstances you have no power over? If so, you are not alone. This is a common trap many of us fall into every day. Ancient Stoic philosophy gives us one crucial rule everyone should know: clearly distinguish between what you can control and what you cannot. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said it simply: some things are up to us, and some things are not. It sounds straightforward, but practicing it is a huge challenge for modern minds. We often get caught in the whirlwind of anxiety about external events, weather, other people's actions, uncertain outcomes, and as a result, our energy gets drained, our minds grow weak. Stoicism teaches us to focus all our power on the one thing truly ours: our actions and responses. When you master your thoughts and behaviors, you lay the foundation for an unbreakable mind. Imagine this: if you stopped getting swept away by things outside your control, how much energy would you have left to focus on what really matters? You would no longer be anxious, fearful, or angry over things you can't change. Every decision, every reaction would be intentional and meaningful. A practical example: when you face criticism or failure at work, you cannot control what others think or the final outcome, but you can control how you respond. You can choose to learn and improve instead of suffering and blaming. This is not just philosophy. Modern psychology proves that people who regulate their emotions and focus on what they can control enjoy better mental health, greater happiness, and more success. If you want to build a resilient mind, start by asking yourself, what is within my control right now? What will I focus on to improve this situation? This process isn't easy, it requires practice and daily awareness. But once you master it, your mind will feel lighter. No longer controlled by meaningless worries. The miracle of Stoicism is it doesn't promise a life without pain or failure. It shows you how to become unbreakable amidst those storms by mastering yourself. So, are you ready to let go of what you cannot change and focus your strength on what you can control? This is the first step to building an unbreakable mind, one that stands firm no matter the challenge. We often think of hope as a guiding light, a source of motivation that helps us push through tough times. But did you know that in Stoic philosophy, hope can actually be a bad strategy? Sounds counterintuitive, right? But let's dive deeper to understand why. When we place all our faith in hoping things will go smoothly, we unintentionally create a big gap between what we want and reality. And when reality falls short, we often feel disappointed, hurt, even lost. That's when a weak mind reveals itself. Instead of just hoping, Stoic philosophers advise practicing a technique called negative visualization, actively imagining and mentally preparing for the worst possible outcomes. Seneca, one of the great Stoic masters, said he often reminded himself, I can lose everything, even those I love most. It sounds harsh, but this was how he trained his mind not to be overwhelmed by real loss. When you've already met the worst in your mind, you won't be shocked or frightened when it happens in real life. Imagine preparing for a long journey that might face a big storm. You don't just dream about a smooth trip, but pack rain gear, plan safety steps, and prepare for all scenarios. Similarly, negative visualization equips your spirit to meet difficulties calmly and proactively. Have you ever wondered how you'd react if you lost everything you hold dear? Would you collapse or rise stronger? This method helps you answer those questions before the real test comes. And trust me, this preparation will bring you peace of mind and strength you didn't know you had. Importantly, negative visualization doesn't turn you into a pessimist or a fearful person. On the contrary, it helps you keep clarity, control, and freedom in your mind. When we accept that loss and failure are unavoidable parts of life, we truly become strong and undefeatable. In today's world, we often avoid thinking about negative possibilities because we fear they might come true. But Stoicism shows us that avoidance doesn't make us safer, it only makes us more vulnerable when adversity hits. Actively imagining and preparing for worst-case scenarios turns us into real warriors of life. So, are you ready to try this technique? Take a moment each day to visualize and prepare for the unexpected. This is the key that will make you unbeatable, no matter what challenges life throws your way. Have you ever thought that constant comfort might actually be weakening your mind? Too much ease, running away from pain and difficulty, may seem like the path to an easier life, but in reality, it's the fastest route to mental weakness. When the mind never faces challenges, it becomes fragile and vulnerable when adversity strikes. That's why Stoic philosophy teaches us that to build an unbreakable mind, you must deliberately practice voluntary hardship, embracing discomfort on your own terms. Imagine you're training for a tough marathon. You can't just run a few easy miles and expect to perform well on race day through rain, heat, or freezing cold. Your body needs to train under harsh conditions, and so does your mind. Intentionally facing challenges builds your endurance and inner strength. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, chose to sleep on the cold ground instead of a soft bed. He believed experiencing hardship sharpened the mind to face any difficulty without flinching. Seneca, another renowned thinker, lived like a beggar, rejecting luxury to cultivate independence and resilience. And Epictetus, though a slave, possessed a free and strong mind that inspired generations. You don't have to live in austerity to apply this principle. Start small. Take cold showers each morning. It sounds uncomfortable, but it's a powerful way to build tolerance for discomfort and strengthen willpower. Try intermittent fasting, resisting unnecessary snacks, teaching yourself self-control and endurance. Intense physical workouts also train both body and mind. Or simply push yourself into uncomfortable situations, work harder, refuse easy shortcuts. Each time you willingly endure a challenge, you send a clear message to your mind: I can endure. I can overcome. This is how you build resilience that won't break under pressure. Think back to the last time you gave up on an opportunity or challenge because you feared difficulty. What valuable lesson might you have learned if you'd faced it head-on? Voluntary hardship isn't about seeking pain, it's about preparing an invisible armor that shields you from life's unexpected shocks. Most importantly, the greatest strength doesn't come from controlling external events, but from mastering yourself, an unconquerable mind. Voluntary hardship is one of the golden keys that unlock this inner power. When you master purposeful suffering, you truly become unbeatable. Remember, every time you step out of your comfort zone, you move closer to a stronger version of yourself. Don't fear hardship, learn to use it as a launch pad for growth and victory. Have you ever felt completely overwhelmed by your emotions, unable to think clearly, losing control? Anger flares up, anxiety lingers, fear freezes you in place. Unchecked emotions are silent enemies that destroy your inner peace and strength. But here's what you must realize: emotions only have power when you let them. Epictetus, the famous Stoic philosopher, said, if someone makes you angry, it means your mind is complicit with them. In other words, you're giving your emotions the reins. So, how do you take control back? the answer lies in the art of emotional detachment. This doesn't mean becoming cold or numb. It means learning to observe your emotions from the outside, without getting swept away in their chaotic waves. Ask yourself powerful questions: who benefits from this emotion? Is this feeling based on facts or just my own assumptions? By asking these questions, you create distance between yourself and your emotions, reducing their hold on you. Imagine standing on a beach, watching waves crash on the shore. You can either be swept away by every wave, or you can stand firm and simply watch. Choosing to observe means you're no longer a victim of your emotions, you become the master. This is the real power of detachment. Controlling your body is just as important as controlling your mind. Emotions and body are tightly linked. When stressed, your heart races, muscles tighten, breathing quickens. But when you breathe deeply, slowly, and relax, calm comes rushing in. Deep breathing, meditation, or physical exercise are powerful tools to manage your emotions from within. This control is entirely in your hands, no one else's. Stoics also teach us to stop seeking approval from others. When you constantly crave validation, you become vulnerable to criticism, failure, or indifference. But when you realize your value comes from how you respond, not from others' opinions, you become invincible. This foundation keeps your mind strong no matter what life throws at you. Think back to the last time emotions overwhelmed you, words you regretted, actions you wished to undo, or the exhaustion after anger faded. If you can learn to detach, observe, and control your emotions, you'll gain a power no one can take away, the power of a free, resilient, undefeated mind. Are you ready to master your emotions instead of being ruled by them? Start this journey today. Because life won't wait. When you master your emotions, you won't just live peacefully, you'll live powerfully, fully embracing every moment. Let's be honest with ourselves for a moment. Mental strength isn't something you're just born with, it's something you build through life's toughest moments. Not everyone dares to face this truth, but if you want to be resilient, you have to understand that suffering is not your enemy, it's your tool. Have you ever wondered why successful people, great warriors, often talk about struggles, failures, and pain? Because they know one simple truth: suffering sharpens focus, helps us adapt, and fuels growth. When you go through hardship, you don't just survive it, you come out stronger, wiser, and more determined. This isn't theory, it's life's reality that anyone can experience if they refuse to run away. Second, know this: people around you, friends, co-workers, even strangers, will test you. They'll try to push you into anger, frustration, or losing control. But here's the key: if you don't react, if you don't let your emotions take over, you cannot be controlled. That's the only way to hold real power in your life. When you master your reactions, you're the winner, no matter how tough the situation. And finally, here's a truth most won't admit: fear is mostly an illusion. Did you know that 99% of what you fear never actually happens? Fear is an exaggerated story your mind tells, stopping you from moving forward and missing out on life's greatest opportunities. But here's the good news: you can weaken it. Even erase it, by facing your fears head-on. Imagine you're standing before a giant door. This door is your fear. The only thing holding you back is hesitation. But once you step through, you'll find it's not hell on the other side, it's a gateway to growth. That's what the Stoic masters taught us: don't avoid hardship. Embrace it. It's the path to true freedom. Life will always challenge you, throw pain, fear, and uncontrollable situations your way. But you have the power to choose your response. You can let those things break you, or you can use them as a lever to build unbreakable mental strength. So here's the question: will you let pain and fear rule your life? Or will you rise, face them, and become the strongest version of yourself? Start today. See suffering not as something that breaks you, but as the fire that forges you into a brilliant diamond. Have you ever felt like you're fighting against your own destiny? Like no matter what you do, life keeps throwing challenge after challenge your way, like a storm that just won't stop. If you've been there, you know how exhausting and overwhelming it can feel. The frustration, the helplessness, it's like you're trapped in a whirlpool of suffering, but here's a powerful truth: resisting your fate, trying to control what's beyond your control, only makes you weaker. It drains your energy and drags your mind deeper into despair. It's a losing battle, and the harder you fight, the more trapped you feel. This is where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism steps in with a revolutionary idea: amor fati, which means love of fate. Now, this isn't just about accepting what happens to you like a passive victim. No, it's about loving your fate, embracing every part of your journey, including the pain, the setbacks, and even the failures. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and a Stoic philosopher, put it beautifully when he said, "The blazing fire makes bright whatever is thrown into it." Imagine your challenges as fuel for a fire within you, not something to complain about, but something to transform your soul and sharpen your mind. You might be thinking, how on earth can I love the things that hurt me? The failures, the losses, the moments that break me down. That's exactly the question Stoicism challenges us to face. Instead of labeling events as simply good or bad, Stoics ask us to see everything as training, a chance to build resilience, to grow stronger, to prepare ourselves for what's next. Every struggle, every failure, every loss is not a detour or a punishment. It's part of the path you've chosen. It's part of becoming the strongest, wisest, most courageous version of yourself. Think about it: if you rewrote your life story with that mindset, those bad or hard events would no longer weigh you down. Instead, they'd be the stepping stones, the tools that shape your character. When you truly learn to love your fate, you stop being a victim of circumstance. You become the captain of your own ship, steering through storms with purpose and calm. You find peace not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because your mind and heart are prepared and unshakable. Practicing amor fati means seeing life through a lens of gratitude and resilience, even when things are tough. You can start small. Remind yourself every morning, whatever happens today, it's a lesson for me. Over time, you'll notice something remarkable: those hardships don't break you anymore. Instead, they lift you higher, push you further, and build an inner strength that no external force can take away. Maybe you're facing a difficult chapter right now. If so, here's the message you need to hear: don't just accept your fate, love it. Love it like you love your closest friend, the one who challenges you, supports you, and helps you grow every day. Because when you embrace your fate with open arms, you don't just survive your struggles, you transform them into an indestructible strength deep inside your soul. You might be thinking, how on earth can I love the things that hurt me? The failures, the losses, the moments that break me down. That's exactly the question Stoicism challenges us to face. Instead of labeling events as simply good or bad, Stoics ask us to see everything as training, a chance to build resilience, to grow stronger, to prepare ourselves for what's next. Every struggle, every failure, every loss is not a detour or a punishment. It's part of the path you've chosen. It's part of becoming the strongest, wisest, most courageous version of yourself. Think about it: if you rewrote your life story with that mindset, those bad or hard events would no longer weigh you down. Instead, they'd be the stepping stones, the tools that shape your character. When you truly learn to love your fate, you stop being a victim of circumstance. You become the captain of your own ship, steering through storms with purpose and calm. You find peace not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because your mind and heart are prepared and unshakable. Practicing amor fati means seeing life through a lens of gratitude and resilience, even when things are tough. You can start small. Remind yourself every morning, whatever happens today, it's a lesson for me. Over time, you'll notice something remarkable: those hardships don't break you anymore. Instead, they lift you higher, push you further, and build an inner strength that no external force can take away. Maybe you're facing a difficult chapter right now. If so, here's the message you need to hear: don't just accept your fate, love it. Love it like you love your closest friend, the one who challenges you, supports you, and helps you grow every day. Because when you embrace your fate with open arms, you don't just survive your struggles, you transform them into an indestructible strength deep inside your soul. Have you ever felt a pain so intense it seemed impossible to rise again? Whether physical, emotional, or mental, pain is an unavoidable part of life. But Stoicism teaches us a vital truth: pain does not define who we are. What separates the strong from the weak is not the absence of pain, but how we respond to it. Pain is inevitable, but weakness is a choice. Most of us instinctively avoid, deny, or run from pain. Yet Stoicism offers a different path. Instead of fighting or fleeing pain, it urges us to accept it, not passively, but like welcoming an old friend who arrives unannounced, bringing valuable lessons. When we stop battling pain, we create space to truly understand it. Pain is not the enemy. It is a messenger guiding us toward growth and transformation. Think back to times when you failed or felt betrayed. Those moments likely shook your confidence, your sense of direction, your belief in yourself. It's easy to let those moments break you. But Stoicism invites us to flip the script. Instead of letting pain crush us, we use it as fuel. The wounds we carry become the foundation for newfound strength. Every setback, every scar is part of rebuilding ourselves stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and one of Stoicism's greatest philosophers, faced countless hardships but never let them defeat him. He saw each challenge as an opportunity to forge a stronger spirit and an unbreakable mind. He famously said, "The blazing fire makes bright whatever is thrown into it." Life's difficulties don't diminish us, they refine us. This ancient wisdom remains a powerful mindset for anyone facing struggles today. If you've ever viewed pain as purely negative, something that drags you down, I want you to reconsider now. Pain is not your enemy. It's the toughest, most honest teacher you'll ever meet. And here's the secret: you have a choice. You can let pain crush and paralyze you with fear and doubt, or you can turn it into your greatest source of power, a driving force to push forward, evolve, and rise. Practicing this mindset takes courage, patience, and persistence. Start small. Face daily frustrations without complaint, a tough day at work, a disagreement, or personal disappointment. Instead of sinking into negativity, see these moments as training grounds for mental and emotional strength. As you get better at transforming pain into power, something remarkable happens: your fear of failure and hurt begins to lose hold. You feel lighter, freer, more in control. No matter what life throws your way, you know you can stand firm. This is Stoicism's essence: a mind resilient, undefeated, and unshakable in any storm. So here's the question: are you ready to turn your pain into power? Remember, weakness is a choice. Strength comes from the daily decision to master yourself, face adversity head-on, and keep moving forward. Have you ever wondered what it means to be truly unbeatable? Not the kind who never faces pain or failure, because no one escapes suffering. The truly unbeatable are those who embrace pain fully, welcoming it as the fire that forges their spirit, the storm that sharpens their mind, and the force that molds them stronger and wiser. This mindset transforms every fear into a tool for growth. Pain is no longer the enemy but a challenge sent to train you. Failure is not a dead end but a whetstone sharpening your mind and character. Loss is not defeat but proof you are greater than your circumstances, showing your soul's strength beyond what life takes away. Seeing hardship as essential steps on your journey is the foundation of being truly unbeatable. Life doesn't happen to break you, it happens to train you, pushing you to your limits and beyond. Reflect on your toughest moments: heartbreak, job loss, betrayal, failure. Did they break you or build you? Leave you powerless or ignite a fire inside, a determination to rise? Stoics remind us that embracing pain is not weakness but the highest strength. The fire you walk through doesn't burn you down, it burns away what can't survive. Emerging purified, tougher, and ready for what's next. Today's challenge: change how you see pain. Stop resisting it. Invite it in. Say, "This pain is my teacher. This failure, my mentor. This loss, my liberation." Changing your relationship with suffering changes your life. The truth: no one is undefeated because they never fell. They're undefeated because they refuse to be defeated. They become unbreakable by embracing every blow, scar, and setback, using them as fuel for relentless spirit. Are you ready to stop running from the fire? To step into it and let it forge you into someone unshakable. The path to becoming unbeatable begins when you decide pain is no longer your enemy but your ally. Remember, life is not here to break you but to build you. Embrace the fire. Become unstoppable. Life will test you, storms, challenges, moments when standing firm feels impossible. But those tests are not meant to break you, they forge a stronger, better version of yourself. Right now, you stand at a crossroads that will define your story. You can fall into weakness, reacting to pain with anger, sadness, or despair, or rise as a true Stoic warrior, standing tall in the storm, refusing defeat. Knowing true strength comes not from avoiding pain but embracing it and using it to climb higher. You are fire, a fire that never burns itself but burns all else around it. When you realize this, you become master of your destiny, turning struggle into strength. Ask yourself, do I want to break or be unbreakable? Do I want to merely survive or truly live and win? Life tests us to teach resilience. By choosing to stand, you've already won half the battle. Turn pain into power, failure into lessons, and yourself into an indestructible flame in this ever-changing world. You are not a victim of fate. You are a warrior of your own life. And real warriors never fall.